Hi there, my name's Claire. I just wanted to say hello and come this side of the camera. Many of you who follow the Imagine Design Create social media pages, particularly the Facebook pages, will know that I'm the name behind most of the posts at the moment. The posts that get scheduled, the ones that we put on showing all of the fabulous samples from our wonderful design team, and a lot of the product updates from the shop and a lot of the inspiration that just comes on. And I like to try and share some of the customer makes also from our Get Creative with Imagine Design Create interactive group that we have. So we love everybody who's joined that, and we encourage anybody to join and share a lot of their ideas and everything they've made with our stamp designs. But I just wanted to come in front of the camera today and say hi. I'm not quite brave enough to do a Facebook Live just yet. I will do, I'm working up to it one day, so who knows. I can learn from the best, can't I? I mean, I've got Kerry Ann as a mentor there, so she's fabulous at putting herself across, so maybe one day I'll be as good as that. But anyway, what I wanted to do is say thank you to all of you who have supported me and purchased the first range of my stamp designs, because they were sold out, and Kerry Ann has just let me know actually that the nesting stamp sets, I have two of them, of the nesting ones, are actually now available again on pre-order on the website, so that is excellent news. So I'm so excited for them to come into store. So they're available for you to order straight away, order now from our website, which is imagineddesigncreate.co.uk. If you look on the online shop, then look under the Imagine Design Create products, you'll see everything that we have there, which is under our own brand, and you'll see the stamps and you'll be able to find them there. Now, as a long-time stamper, I mean, stamping is my ultimate passion with inks. I mean, you'll constantly find me, probably even now, with inky hands. I'm very messy. I do like to have my stamps and my inks around me, so to be able to design and launch my own stamp sets, my own stamp designs, an absolute dream come true. So the fact that Kerry Ann has enabled me to do that is just a dream come true. It really is. As I say, I'm so excited because it was quite daunting as well when I first launched them, because I've had this idea in my head for a long time, and it's a brand new concept, and when I first pitched this to Kerry Ann, she loved it straight away, so it was a huge relief because it's something that I've been thinking about for a long time. As I say, I'm a stamper. I do all the other crafts as well. Obviously, I've got a die cutting machine and embossing and all sorts, but I don't know if you are die cutters yourself, but you would have heard, I'm sure, of the concept of the nesting dies. Basically, you have a set of dies all in one shape, and they go down in incremental sizes, or up in incremental sizes, which allows you to create dimensional pieces, but it also gives you the mats and layers in different sizes for all of the images, for backgrounds. It enables you to create the layers and the mats for images also, and also frames, because if you double up on the nesting things, then you can create the frames. Well, because it's stamps that I reach for first as opposed to dies, I wondered if it would be feasible to have nesting stamps that, although you're not cutting out the actual shapes, but you can actually layer your stamped images if they're nesting in just the same way. And this is the concept that I actually came up with. And to actually see them come into stamp format and actually work with them and create the samples, it was actually really exciting, to be honest. to have an idea come from your head, something you've thought about for a long time, to actually see it come onto paper and work, and you'd actually be able to create the projects that you've had in your head for such a long time, being helped by your stamps, is just great. And to know that you also have found that, you also have bought into the concept, you've actually understood what it is that I'm trying to create, and bought these sets and have my first set sell out, is just amazing. Now you'll notice that I'm not actually in a craft room at the moment. I am actually travelling, so I'm away from my craft room. I do travel with craft supplies, of course. I do travel with actually my entire set of Imagine, Design, Create stamps, I have to say. So I've got all of Kerry's designs, and I've got all of my own, and I have my inks, but I don't have any of the samples with me. But if you are a regular viewer, you will have seen that I regularly post a lot of samples, and you would have seen many that I've used creating these stamps online. But also, if you head to our Pinterest page and search for Imagine, Design, Create, you'll also find us on there, because we have boards of all of our samples that we've created, and all of our wonderful design team samples are there also. So that's definitely worth a look up there, because it's always nice to have all of the inspiration in one place and just have just lots and lots to look through. But these are the nesting stamps that I created. We have the nesting ovals and squares, and the nesting circles and rectangles. Now for me, this, with the circles, this is where the whole concept began really, because I craft in all sorts of different styles. I love clean and simple styles, but I also have ventured into the mixed media. So my style is eclectic, I would say. I can't pin myself down to being one particular type of crafter. But what I've found, especially with coming into the mixed media, that I love the idea and I love the look of the hand-drawn and the scribbled effect, the hand-doodling effect on lovely mixed media backgrounds, particularly the inks with distress inks and oxides. But I was always hesitant, and I was never confident actually taking the pen myself and drawing the circle. It would either not work out right, or it just wouldn't look right. I was never particularly happy. So again, I've combined that along with the idea of having the nesting circles and just put them all into one stamp design, because if I actually bring that closer, you will see that these circles do have a doodled hand-drawn look to them. That they are hand-drawn. They are not perfectly circular or geometrically perfect circles. Again, this adds to the sketchy, the doodled look to them. And I've followed that idea through with all of these shapes we have there. You'll see that the rectangles are sort of a multi-layered frame, as are the squares and the ovals that we have here. Now, as I say, the idea of these were firstly to have nesting shapes, so they all fit within one another, so you can create that layered and three-dimensional look with stamps and inks onto a page. And you'll see here that I've actually stamped these out, and you'll see how well they do actually nest within themselves. So for any mixed media crafter, these will add firstly the layered look, and also that hand doodled look, but it's also great for those just coming into mixed media who are new, and those who perhaps aren't confident in their own pen work. I know that I'm not all the time. I'm a frustrated artist, I think I would call myself. Because I have wonderful images in my head, and sometimes they come out onto paper first time, sometimes they don't, and that is the beauty of stamping. That's why I've fallen in love with stamps, and that is why I would and encourage and really try to inspire others to actually use stamps, because you can create such wonderful images, and you can And it's not cheating at the end of the day, because you can create yourself a really perfect little piece of artwork with a stamp, and that is just as valid as if you hand drew it yourself, because you need to compose the picture, you need to compose that piece of artwork, and stamps allow you to do that. Now again, with these nesting stamps, they work many ways. I've shown you there that they can actually layer within themselves. They give you the hand-drawn, hand-doodled look on your pages also. But what I've done, and I've expanded this range and actually produced A6 sets, and these are still available on the website now, and I've actually given you the solid infills to the layered shapes or the nested shapes there. So within this larger square here, I have this solid square, which if you stamped, that would completely infill this doodled frame for you. Now what that enables you to do is stamp this in one particular colour, perhaps a lighter background, stamp the doodled frame over the top, and you have that hand sketched look, and you have a complete system there, a complete image. Now you can do this in a lighter colour. You can then use this as a backdrop. You can use this as your canvas to use any of Kerry Ann's mini stamps, mini flowers, mini butterflies, mini bird silhouettes are fabulous as well, to actually stamp an image within here. That's your canvas, that's your picture. What you can then do is take the nesting frames, you can then stamp the coordinating frame from any of these over the top of that solid piece, and then you have a framed picture, which is a doodle framed picture, and it just gives a really wonderful effect. Now what you will notice with these I've actually put some patterns in to these solid shapes. Now you can stamp and have these patterns as they are, that's fine, but also my idea and my thinking behind this was particularly for mixed media, and particularly for those who perhaps like to paint more tactically with their or tactilely with their fingers or with a paintbrush, and you like to have the brush marks and you like to make it look like you've got like a hand painted circle, but you can't actually produce that circle yourself. What you can do, you can stamp this in a really light colour, then you can take an acrylic brush, acrylic paint and a paintbrush, and you can actually paint over the top. Use this as a guide. You see, you can use this as a guide to paint your circle. Allow the paint or whatever media it is that you've used to do that, and then you can take your doodled circle frame and you can stamp over the top, and you have that hand doodled look again, you see. So it really brings an awful lot of the crafting, which you perhaps might get frustrated at, it makes it simple for you. So that was my whole idea behind this concept, and it works for the circles, the rectangles, the squares and the ovals also. So the basic shapes, I have lots of ideas to bring other shapes to you. As we know, there's lots and lots of shapes, and just waiting to see until you see the Christmas designs. I was so chuffed with those, so I'm really excited to launch those with you very soon actually. But I'm away from the crafting room at the moment, so I don't have my samples with you, but I'm a crafter, so I do travel with something. I have my stamps and my inks. The only paper I had available was envelopes, I'm afraid, so I've just created this little envelope book. I mean, you can see here, these are envelopes, so I've just stamped onto these. And you can see, just by stamping in different colours and some of the accents that come with the nesting shapes, which also fit within the circle. So this larger circle, doodled, scribbled circle, would actually fit within one of the other nesting shapes that we've got here. So stamping in different colours, I mean, it brings a whole different dimension to these stamps altogether. And you can see here that we've got them as a nesting piece. When we go on to the squares, now this one I haven't nested them, I just used them as frames for Kerry Ann's, I think it's the Time for Tea set, but it works perfectly just as frames. That's, you know, you don't need to use them as nesting stamps at all. And the next one here, I've used the rectangles and I've just arranged them and overstamped them, overlapped them in a geometric form. Again, you can create that really modern feel. I've used some of the accents from the solid square rectangle set, and here these borders are created with the accents from the nesting shape sets as well. So, I mean, all of these pieces are completely flat. There's no dimension on these whatsoever. It literally is just stamping and inks. And without any focal images themselves, you can see you can create a whole project just with these as they are. So they really are diverse and they really are useful. Now these ones I've used the oval set, and you can see a different use for them again. I've stamped the larger circle ovals as frames, but then I've taken the smallest oval circle. I've stamped that same circle 5 times to create a flower. So think outside the box. I mean, these are the building blocks of all shapes, of all images that we know. So play around with them and see what it is that you can create. I've taken one of the smaller accents from the rectangle and oval. The rectangle and oval? The square and oval set. I mean, it's the little doodle oval scribble. It reminds me of a pine cone, but it isn't. And all I've done, and I've just stamped that in 5, in the same format as this, in the same formation, and it's just created a different type of flower, or a star in effect. I'll just show you the stamp here. So these are the stamps here, these little accent ones, which again are perfect to use for, you know, for different accents, just different shapes. And again, I've used some of the borders just to create the border, just stamping in black to highlight here. So, I mean, that's just some of the ideas that we can use for these nesting stamps. As I say, scroll down our Facebook page and you'll see many, many more. I'm so excited that you actually sort of grasped the concept that I wanted to get out there. As I say, those nesting sets, these A5 sets now, which are the building blocks, which the set of the concept, these are back available on pre-order now on the website. So thank you so much for all your support. I really appreciate it, and I'm really looking forward to you posting some of your designs that you've made using these stamps onto our Facebook page. So many thanks again. I will speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.